Yes, yes. Coffee Conversations with Greg J is on. How are y'all today? Special edition. Normally we go Tuesdays and Thursdays, but our guest today is coming to us live from Accra, Ghana. And we're really excited about this conversation that we're about to have. We're going to talk about building bridges between Africa and African Americans, sharing history, informing one another of our related histories out there. Before we get into it, though, I want to thank all of y'all that came out to our uh, opening reception for the Celebrating Black Excellence and Arts and Culture experience. We're going to be back up this coming weekend on Saturday, March 4th, where we will be honoring families with our Celebrating Black Excellence honors ceremony, also there at the art gallery. Fantastic art, man. Buena Johnson, Muhammad Babarik, Shelton Gillis, uh, um, Kadir Ampka, and young, did I say Buena Johnson? Buena Johnson, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then young Skylar Bush, our student spotlight. Man, what an awesome thing. Loiter Galleries in downtown Long Beach, if you have an opportunity. Thank you so much to Vinny and Monica for working with us on that in your fantastic arts space. It was really, really great. Shout out to the West Angeles Community Development Corporation for another, man, it's hard to believe it's 29 years of service to the community. We had the Unity Awards banquet on last Thursday, honoring Maxine Waters as Woman of the Year, Miguel Nunez as Man of the Year. It was really, really phenomenal. Good to see everybody. Good to chop it up with Congresswoman Maxine Waters. She'll be here on Coffee Conversation soon. Curran Price, Heather Hutt, just a lot of people who are friends and ready to come and share knowledge and uplift the community. And then, of course, shout out last week also to City of Inglewood for allowing us to produce their Black History Month Festival. Blocked off Market Street, brought some great artists, built a giant stage, concert, sound, etc. Noel Gordine, the great Andrew Goucher as our music director. I mean, you know, the artist list goes on and on. You can go across our platforms and view those photos, view the videos that are happening. We're striving, y'all. This is what we're doing. We're uplifting culture. We're uplifting the arts. We're uplifting Blackness all across the world. And you know, if you watch us, you know that we're about building bridges of music, arts, and culture with Mother Africa. You know that we just returned from Ghana after staying there a month and a half. A lot of you have followed our pictures and our exploits as we were there, just living the life among our brothers and sisters there in Ghana, West Africa. And I just met this gentleman through another KJLH alumni, Louise Foster. Shout out to Louise. What's going on, my sister? And thank you for introducing us to our guests this morning. I was trying to catch up with it while we were in Ghana, and very busy, man. Of course, it was festive season. It was jumping off out there. Really, they really do celebrate the festive season on 10 out there. And so I was trying to catch up with it. But then as I was preparing for this, I was like, I did a little bit of homework, but I didn't do enough homework. He's a former member of parliament. Wow. He is just an advocate for arts and culture. He's been lecturing at major universities all across the United States on the subject of building bridges, sharing knowledge between Africa and African Americans. And, we are of like mind. And let me see if I can get him in here now. His name, Mr. Kojo Yankah. Hold on, let me see. Kojo, are you there? Oh, I think he might have fell off. We'll wait for him to come back in there. He's all the way there. They're 8 hours ahead of us out here on the West Coast. And we'll just bring him back out until I see him come back in to talk. Oh, there he is. Okay, let's see. We try to do these transatlantic, connections through the available technology. And that's awesome sometimes to be able to do that. While we're waiting on Brother Kojo to come in, we do want to tell you that as we continue these conversations about, going to Africa. We have our trips going over. We really want people with this special emphasis on African Americans to travel to Mother Africa. We'll show you a great time. So you're going to, experience a first-class vacation, but you're also going to gain a lot of knowledge of self, just because it is, especially when we go to West Africa, it is a tremendous reflection, self-reflection. It's a 360-degree return from when somebody in your DNA came from that region of the world, survived the slave dungeons, survived the Middle Passage, survived the cruelties of slavery, the injustices of Jim Crow, lifted up through the civil rights movement to you. And it's interesting and reflective and full circle when you go back to Mother Africa and you're there and you see the people, when you experience the food, when you experience the vibration, when you cross over into the slave dungeons and you see where your ancestors walked. It's pretty deep, man. And I think it's really incumbent on us in this day and time to build bridges with our brothers and sisters on the continent of Africa. It must be done. It must be a part of your consciousness, especially in this nation where we live in America. And what we're seeing, a child of the civil rights movement, and they say the more things change, the more they stay the same. But as we endure what we are enduring, as we see what we are seeing, I think it will help our souls and fortify our willpower, our being, if we make a connection to Mother Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Kojo Yankah. There he is. Good morning, sir. But it was good morning to us.
Good afternoon from Ghana.
Yes. What do you say? Akwaba.
Akwaba.
Good. Brother Kojo, man, first of all, thank you for coming on to Coffee Conversations with Greg J. Here, what we do is we have culturally relevant conversations in a very casual manner, but still compelling. And we want to make sure that our people are getting information. We're exposing our people to folks like yourself all across the globe, all across the nation here in the United States. And I'm honored, man, to have you here to chop it up with us. This is really, really great. I think you're on mute. Let's see. You were there for a minute. Oh, there, that's on my side. My bad. There you are. Uh-oh. Okay, try that. No, I think you muted yourself. There you are. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes. Uh-oh.
Okay, nice having you. I hope you enjoyed your trip to Ghana.
Man, it was really, really phenomenal. I just got to tell you, it's our second time coming to Ghana. And we came with, I don't know, you probably do know the ambassador, Dr. Arikana Chiambori Kwao.
Sure.
Yes. So we came for a business summit in 2021.
Right.
And it was very, very interesting and enlightening. And actually, this past year, as we were leaving, we were like, what would it be like to celebrate Christmas in Ghana? And so we began to, plot and plan and see what it would be like. We took an apartment. We were in Cantonments there, and we just stayed a whole month and a half.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a really great experience. Mm-hmm. We're still getting
sure, you must come again.
There.
I'm saying you must come again.
Yes, we're planning to come in June for the Panifest.
Oh.
And this one I'm going to bring a group. We still have quite an echo there, Mr. Kojo. I think
Yeah.
maybe your phone, if you could take your phone off. Let's try that.
Is it better now?
A little bit better now. And then maybe if you have headphones, that'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah, you need your headphones. I bet you this will work because they really have a lot to talk to you about, arts and culture. All right, I think that. Huh? Still not. Huh?
No, I thought it was okay the first time.
It was, and now okay. We still have a. Hold on. Still have a bit of an echo there. I'm going to take the phone out of this broadcast. So this is what I'm going to do there. And I think we just did it. That's it. Okay.
But
all right. Yeah, we're fine.
You can hear me, but I cannot hear you. It's a shame.
You should be able to hear me now. And maybe.
I'm sorry for this, but I was hearing you so clearly.
Okay, let's try that. How about that? You can hear me now? Oh. Okay, try this.
Greg, can I just, for a minute, just switch off the... Yeah, I'm sorry for this and your viewers. I think there's something wrong somewhere. I want to make sure that I get everybody.
Because we can hear you fine. Yes.
I want to enter with...
Okay. Yeah, so this is what I'm gonna do, y'all. I'm gonna take him out of the studio while we try to get this together and continue to share. I'm sorry for this. We had it together there, but I think with this phone, maybe. Can you hear me through your phone? Let me see, because it causes such an echo. All right, let's see. Can you hear me through your phone?
Do you also hear me?
I can hear you. Let me just take him. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you, yes.
You can hear me, okay. So this is through, I'm afraid to take your phone out of here. Oh, so funny.
Let me take my laptop out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, let me take my laptop out of here. Do you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. You know, Brother Kojo, I was looking on your bio there, and, member of parliament during Jerry Rawlings' administration. I mean, it's so funny because I was just talking to Congresswoman Maxine Waters, and I was sharing with her that, there's a friend of mine, and I'm telling her, we've been going to Ghana and all of this. And so she had not been to Ghana since her friend, Jerry Rawlings was the president there. And, explain to us what is, because we hear a lot about Jerry Rawlings here in the United States. What's the difference between his administration and present day?
First of all, he came through a revolution. He came through, if you like, a coup d'etat. But after a number of years, he committed himself to popular elections. democracy was restored. He submitted himself as a candidate, and he won the elections. And he stayed up for another 8 years, which is what our constitution says. And then he handed over to another leader. So that was Rawlings. And I worked under him not only as a member of parliament, but also as a minister of state. And he was that upright man. He was that strong leader. He had a sense of purpose. Up till now, nobody can fault Rawlings that he was a corrupt leader. He was hardworking. He was always looking for solutions to problems, and that's why people still miss him in Ghana. But he was quite a strong leader. If we're talking about the leader who is transformational, he's one of them that you can count in Ghana.
You know, it's so interesting now that Ghana is really active in calling her children home. You know, it's like you had the year of return in 2019. You had, you know, all I heard is when I was there this past December and January, it was really all about like, come home, children, you know, be a part of Ghana, help us build and everything. You know, you calling the diaspora to West Africa. Why is that important?
It's important because it also shows something that Ghana has returned to stability. Because one can think of the time of Rawlings and when we started PANAFEST, Pan-African Festival of Arts and Culture, which really was the start of bringing home people of African descent who were in the arts and culture, who could participate in the festival that was instituted at the time of Rawlings. That festival is still going on, and you just mentioned you are coming to a festival in June, July. Yeah, that started from there. But the 400th anniversary was kind of a worldwide event. Everybody wanted to know what really happened 400 years ago. And the message went so far that everybody of Black descent decided, let's go to Ghana to see what's going on. And I myself, you know, having been chairman of PANAFEST for 10 years, was happy that we had that clarion call. And it still continues. The return activity still continues.
Yeah, we're hearing like now beyond the return, you know, and that's a really strong, you know, slogan. And as we talk to people about traveling to Ghana, we explain to them the entire importance of beyond the return and what kind of, you know, opportunity, what kind of peace that people will find when they come, you know, come to Ghana. I want to ask you. PANAFEST. I didn't realize you were the chairperson. You know, now Louise did tell me that you were the chairperson of PANAFEST for quite some time, a whole decade. You know, the question that we're getting all the time as we begin to tell people about we're going to Ghana for PANAFEST. What is it? What is PANAFEST? And why is it every 2 years?
Yes. Okay. So PANAFEST stands for Pan-African Festival of Arts and Culture. It was started in 1992. It was created by a very prominent writer, female writer, whose husband, incidentally, was African American. The idea was, how can we bridge the gap? How can we pull the family together? Since the 1945, when the Du Bois and others in the Pan-Africanist Congress were saying, let's talk together as leaders. And again, after Kwame Nkrumah's overthrow in 1966, during which time we had a number of diasporans coming home to enter the universities, working in our hospitals, working as dentists in other professions. As soon as Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown, um, that enthusiasm to come back died down. So when Rawlings came back and he was presented with this idea of a festival, let's have a festival to bring people of African descent back home, he definitely endorsed it, and it became a festival for the nation. Mind you, there had been some attempts at festivals in Africa, one in Senegal in 1966. There was another one in 1977 in Nigeria called Festac. And this one in Ghana caught a lot of momentum. I think naturally because Ghana is seen as the heartbeat of Pan-Africanism. Kwame Nkrumah, who really lit the torch for liberation on the continent. So when it came to Ghana, the response was great. The organizing committee decided on every other year because they thought they needed more time to plan. Even when I was chairman, that discussion was going on that we should make it annual. So it is an idea that the organizers are thinking about. So I won't be surprised if they come up at the end of this year's festival to say now we are going annual.
Now, when we come in July for PanaFest, what can we expect? What are people going to see?
Well, there are various programs. There is the slave route. Those who want to go on the route to the north of Ghana and to go from there to the central region to the south and up to Cape Coast, there is that opportunity. There are also youth movements that are going to meet. The youth are going to meet, have their own dialogue, discuss what is common, what are their challenges in this present world. There are also going to be the intellectual discussion at the University of Cape Coast on various topics, all relating to how to bring the family together. I mean, that has been the major theme, and there are sub-themes, but they all boil down to what are other ways. So the discussions will go on. We will have women from various parts of the world also meeting and discussing. Then there are the cultural manifestations. There are performers from the US, from the Caribbean, from all the various countries who also come to perform. There are concerts. Some of them are even held in the courtyard of the slave dungeons.
Oh, wow.
And then there are also those who have the opportunity to go to some of the communities around to see community life, meet with some of the chiefs, and some even get renamed. And some even, those who want to remarry can remarry under the traditional system.
Wow. So
we have a variety of programs that people can register to participate in. It's very participatory. And then, of course, at the end of it all, there's a huge Durbar of chiefs, an assembly of chiefs in the region, which is a very colorful display of the culture you find in Ghana and other parts of West Africa.
Wow, that's fascinating. I'm excited, man. I can't wait. Okay, this is going to be really, really great. What's your favorite part of PanaFest? You named all of those great things. I'm saying, man, how can I attend everything? What's your favorite part?
Okay, I've been in it all these years, so but I can tell you that um, sampling every bit of it is interesting. There is if you ever have the chance to go through the some of the dungeons that our forefathers went through, you see some of the pain they all went through.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, you can also take part in the discussions, which are also very lively. Getting the various points of view from the diaspora and Ghana on how they share common things. What are some of the challenges? And then discussing practically what can we do together? You know, how can we get our musicians, our performers to relate to each other? And how can we also extend the some of the benefits that we have both ways. Now, you now hear from the year or beyond the return program, um, a lot of investments coming in from African Americans, particularly who want to stay in Ghana, some who want to invest in Ghana. Opportunities are being created for them to see other parts of the country and to do businesses with, you know, Ghanaians or Africans, and then also to establish, you know, a family. You know, some are interested in finding out where they came from originally, but I think that the most important is how do you how do you stay on? How do you stay on with the relationship? If you went to Elmina or Cape Coast, and I'm sure you must have seen a community of African Americans spreading, you know, in that area and in some parts of the country as well, because most of them have decided to relocate.
Mm-hmm.
It will interest you to know that the executive secretary of Panafest, Rabbi Cohen, I, I I started working with him in 1992, and he is married and staying in Ghana. He lives comfortably. He has a restaurant and a guest house overlooking the beach and ocean. And he will tell you that he does not miss much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he loves Ghana, and so are many others who have resettled and are in Ghana. So the family thing is on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Getting us to know that, yeah, we were one family, we were just separated.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know, it's interesting. I participated in the candlelight vigil that was led by Rabbi Cohen at the Cape Coast Castle, and
Right,
it was a phenomenal experience. And
right.
that brother right there really sets the tone for the reverence that we must show when we go into the dungeons. And yeah, he's that's a good man right there. Important guy to know. Hmm. Hmm. You know, it's interesting. You know, I can attest to the feeling of, you know, when you come to Ghana, there is a deep sense in my spirit of that I'm home, right? And I really was not ready to get back after being there for more than a month. And even now, you know, we find ourselves like, dang, man, I can't get used to being back, you know, in the United States. And it's I think Ghana is a beautiful country, and what overwhelms me the most is the peace. It is very, very peaceful there. And I know that you were minister of state. How does the nation of Ghana maintain such a peaceful circumstance?
I think it's the nature of the people. And I must say that um, all over Africa, I mean, Africans are supposed to be very peaceful people.
Mhm.
Um, and we are everywhere. Um, it's it's a whole lot of developments over the years that have made some countries look uh, less peaceful because certain values have entered our system that have made it uh, necessary for some people to rush to make money, to be greedy. There are certain values that were not African because we were a communal people. We lived for each other. Yes, we people want a good life, but we have not encouraged violence, in our system. So if you go to most of these countries in Africa that don't look as peaceful as Ghana looks in the cities, you go to the rural areas and people are still very peaceful and hospitable. So, but Ghana, I think we have gone through a whole lot of systems. We've gone through military coup d'etats. And I told you from the beginning that we have had peaceful political environment, and society tolerates each other. We don't have religious intolerance. People tolerate each other's religion. People tolerate each other's political party, and we mind our own business. So that is Ghana. Yeah, disagree, but we also disagree. But we, at the end of the day, we cherish the fact that this is one Ghana. And I must tell you, we learned a lot of this from the beginning, from Kwame Nkrumah, because we built a one nation, and it's I mean it's not common. I am originally from the central region, but I became a minister in the Ashanti region, and there was no problem with it. I was accepted just like any other Ghanaian. Elsewhere, they would have said, "No, bring somebody from the region to become a regional minister." But I had a peaceful term.
Wow,
So something we cherish.
the Ashanti Kingdom, that's where the gold is. Yes. Now, now, Kojo, let me ask you this now. I understand that you are building, developing, leading the effort for a Pan African museum. What is that? Tell us a little bit about that, and why is that important at this present time?
Yeah, this is something that I have been planning for a long time. You come to Ghana, or you've been to Ghana twice, and I have always thought for the past 20 years or more that I chaired PANAFEST, I worked with the Ghana Heritage Conservation Trust. I've seen the importance of preserving one's heritage. And I realized that traveling around the world, people of African descent face almost the same problem. They face injustice, they face discrimination at certain levels. We saw apartheid in South Africa. We see that the self-confidence of the ordinary African is low because certain pressures have taken away the confidence of the African. Colonialism was one, but long before colonialism, even those who left us, our kith and kin, were physically separated from us and mentally separated from us. And I thought about this whole term we call the door of no return. And I asked myself a couple of times, what does it mean? Did it mean that they should go and never return? Did somebody have that idea? But anyway, it's as I learned a lot more about people of African descent, whether it was in America, in the Caribbean, or in South America, I got the impression that it was one of the most inhumane things that could have happened. I meet people of African descent in Portuguese-speaking areas like Brazil, or in Spanish-speaking areas like Cuba or elsewhere, and we cannot communicate because they are speaking different language and I'm speaking a different language. But beyond that, we look like each other. You know, you look like Ghanaian, you look at any African, anywhere. I'm sure until you open your mouth, everybody thinks you're Ghanaian.
Yes.
You know, that is what concerned me, that humanity lost a great deal when that separation came in.
Mm.
And we did not just separate, we, those of our relations beyond the slave dungeons lost their names, their culture, their everything. And now there's so much research showing that we have the same heritage.
Mm.
We belong to the same African civilization. Our background is the same.
Mm.
But that was hidden from us. We were never told in school that we had a rich past.
Mm.
We were never told that we had inventors, we had innovators, we had achievers. And until America was open to Africa, the image was negative, right? The
Yes.
image of African Americans and the blacks. So generally, I've been concerned and I've followed the whole idea of the dignity of the African. And I believe that we can restore it when we can put all our heritage under one roof and have a place we can call a site of pilgrimage and and share a lot more in common. Something that we are doing in Panafest but not complete. So now, instead of coming to Panafest and walking around and visiting, you now have a place where you can sit, dialogue, and meet people of same color, same background, same heritage, and heal yourself. So this
Mm.
museum has three pillars: educate, heal, and inspire. And I believe that it will make a big difference to humanity.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I'm just sitting here envisioning that. And now, how far along are you towards completion?
Yeah, let me put it this way. We have completed the first half of it,
Nice.
but it's virtual. So
Okay.
if you go to our virtual site, our website, www.pahmuseum.org, pahmuseum.org, we have our digital museum there. That took quite some time. And of course, you have to enter and pay $10 and enter and go through the museum.
Mhm.
That's only one part of it. So we now are preparing the spots, a 15-acre spot on the hills between Accra and Cape Coast. And that's where we are preparing for the physical museum itself.
Mhm.
And we anticipate that in 3-4 years, we should be able to have the necessary funding to complete the museum.
Nice. Nice. All right. All right. Hey, look, I'm gonna ask you offline. How can I help? I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about that. That's a very honorable. And then what you how you describe the foundation of it is exactly what we live to do here at the Hannibal Media Group. That's for sure. And we are preaching the gospel of reaching back and connecting with our continental African brothers and sisters, illuminating and lifting up our history, our heritage, our culture. This is real. There's many in the United States that don't want our history taught in schools or spoken of. There's many governments, that are behind efforts to squash the message. And lately, we've been hearing in the news here in the United States, the state of Florida wanting to ban the history, African American history or African related history in their school systems. We know Texas did the same thing. And what keeps popping into my mind is like, man, that Cape Coast Castle is such a huge place. It's very real. And it's like, you can't hide that. Y'all did that.
There's no way.
No way.
There's no way. And Brother Greg, you see the other aspect of it is that it's not just in America. Even in Africa, we do not teach African history. Mm-hmm. So even Africans know very little about each other. And that's why I said somebody must have a reason for saying a door of no return. So we do not even know Africa. It's only a few universities, including mine, that are teaching African American history. So I'm saying let's all put all that together. So we'll have a big library, right? Where we will have books written by both sides, Africans on the continent, Africans in the diaspora, in different languages. Let's have them in the library. Mm-hmm. We'll have them physically there. We'll have them online. We will also have a garden of African heroes. Nice. So we must have heroes and heroines. And these are from the diaspora, from the Black world, who have been our heroes from ancient times till today. Let's know our role models. See, once we start learning about who our role models have been. Now, recently, you know, everybody heard about the hidden figures in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Come on, why should it take that long for humanity to know that? And this is only a tiny example. There are many, many more hidden achievers that we should know, not only from the continent, but also from the whole Black world. Mm-hmm. And let's share together. There is going to be a palace of African kingdoms. We want to know about the old kingdoms. What were they? Who was King Mansa Musa? He's not just a statistic in history. He was a figure that every African should be proud of. Mm-hmm. So that is the kind of thing that we want to bring together. So we have a 15-acre spot. So much is going to happen. There will be a conference hall. There will be festivals will be held there. And we will now see clearly that, hey, you can't hide. No. Yeah. So that's what we want to bring together. That's why we need the help of every single person in Africa and the diaspora to help make sure that we build this museum, because it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. I was talking to the Ghanaian music legend Rocky Dawuni. He's a friend of ours, and we were just talking the other day, and he was sharing how we don't have a knowledge of self, even from the African perspective. He says, "Man, you come to Ghana, your people are like Akwaba, Akwaba." He said, but they don't know your history in America, because it's like they see you as a tourist, and they you're bringing money and you're spending money and they're having a good time. He said, in New York, he said, you Americans are like, yo, my brother, but it is. They don't know what we have gone through in America, and we have to fix that. He was really adamant about it. He said, man, we have to fix that.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. It's incredible.
Nobody knows what you've gone through. Nobody knows that they don't even understand Jim Crow. They don't understand the African Civil War. We teach Africans what you went through. Mm-hmm. And that's what I mean by that symbolic door of no return. It's like shutting you off from us. Mm-hmm. Now it's not possible. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we're bringing all that.
All right. Well, shoot, Panafest is coming, y'all. Now, will you be at Panafest?
Sure.
Okay. I was trying to catch up with you when we were there. You sent me some beautiful pictures from. I think you were in Takrady.
Yeah.
You sent me some beautiful pictures, from that region. Now, did you go when they have the? I guess they have like a. They're wearing masks, or what's the festival they have?
Carnival,
Mm.
and again, that kind of carnival in the Western region, it's so different from the carnival in Bahia, in Salvador. It's Africans expressing themselves in a colorful way. So we anticipate that at some point we'll have a carnival of all these coming together in Ghana, and we will. Its carnival goes on in the United Kingdom, Nottingham, every year. So why can't we bring everybody together at one festival? It would be so great in Ghana. But those are the kind of things we anticipate.
That's right. This is really, really beautiful. Okay. Well, look, I'm coming to, I will call you right before we come to Panafest so that you and I can get a cup of coffee or tea or something and really, really chop it up. What's
So,
your favorite food in Ghana? Because I'm going to tell you something. I love to eat. So that's why I'm bringing this up. It's one of my favorite things. I love to eat and I love to cook also. So
oh,
I have been trying to match that. I've been buying tilapia here and trying to. I don't know what the seasonings are. I'm missing something is missing, but it's still good. But something is missing on my end. But what's your favorite food in Ghana? What do you love to eat?
see, do you know the plantain,
Yes.
the small plantains,
Yes.
cooked um, with vegetable contomere stew? That's my favorite. And
Nice.
we call it ampesi. Some people like fufu. I like fufu as well, but I like ampesi more.
Mm-hmm. I had peanut soup in Sinya. I was in Sinya. You know that town, Sinya? Very,
Yeah,
yes. I went to Sinya
mm-hmm.
and they cooked. A friend of ours here in Long Beach, California, supports an orphanage in Sinya. And so when she learned that we were in Ghana, she's, sent a car for us. We rode all the way out to Sinya. And, we had the, traditional Ghanaian, we had the rice balls and the peanut soup. And, it was so delicious. Oh, my
Right,
goodness. Yes.
right.
Yes.
That's true. I'm
Mm-hmm.
also I like a lot of fish.
Mm-hmm. Now in Sinya, there's a small fort there, a small castle that
Right.
really surprised me. That and it really illustrated how massive the slave trade was. If they required to build such a small facility in order to support the Cape Coast Castle and the Elmina Castle, and it's like, man, this is they were running so many humans through there. They needed to build a little relief place. Man,
The whole West Coast has 33.
wow,
33 forts and castles. Europe,
wow.
yeah, and the Europeans were fighting to settle in one place or the other. So most of the places, the European countries were just fighting over them on the coast of West Africa. It shows you how desperate they were, to, to competing with each other to take control over the forts and castles on the west coast of Africa. 33. So in
Wow.
most of the towns and villages along the coast, some are in ruins, yes, but they are there.
Man. Wow, they are there. I saw them, that's why I say, y'all, that critical race theory, they try to stop us from learning our history. I saw the structures for myself. It's there. They did that. They did it. They did it. They did it. So, excuse me. So Panafest is coming up. That's in July. We're going to come out there. We want to support it. We put Brother Kojo's website in there. We want to support and see if we can, uh, support and work forward to make this Pan African History Museum a reality. Go online and check out the virtual piece. I'm gonna do that right now as soon as we get off. I'm gonna get on there. I might waste my whole morning on the whole. Well, it won't be a waste, but I think I'm gonna invest some time into so I can check it out on today. It's all about building these bridges of music, arts, and culture. I want to ask you this, Kojo. Now, as an arts advocate, as a culture advocate, and here, here in the United States, I'm the president of the board of directors of the Arts Council for Long Beach, and we advocate for the arts in every aspect. It's a very diverse, body. We're the symphony, we're the ballet, we're the opera, we're all the visual artists and all that, and even now my company, we just opened our reception last night. We have an art gallery for Black History Month. Got some really strong African American artists that we're displaying in downtown Long Beach. But as I advocate in my duties as president of the board, advocate for the arts, I realize how important it is to continue to consult government on supporting the arts, continue to informing the artists that there's resources and stuff out there. When I look at Ghana, I see arts and culture is an essential thread in the life of Ghana. Man, it's very, very, very essential. Can you share why that is, and from your perspective, what is the depth of arts and culture in Ghana?
It's all over. It shows you the expressive nature of the African. We express ourselves in several ways. And it also shows how creative the ordinary African can be. I mean, go to all the villages and people, you do not expect people to have gone to school before they can create.
Mm.
So for me, creativity, arts, culture, they're expressions of the way people live. Now, we have a lot of proverbs in African uh, languages,
Mm.
and they are all expressions of who we were. Now, a lot of the expressions are disappearing because of um, people reading so much other books like literature or the Bible or the Quran and so on and so forth. But those proverbs in local languages are they are the pearls of wisdom that guide our living on the continent. And almost every proverb has an artistic equivalent. It's
Mm.
interesting. Next time you're in Ghana, um let me take you to some of the arts, and of course, you saw some of them already in the market. But those in the market have been created by other people and brought there for sale.
Uh,
When you really meet those in the villages who are creating them, that is where you ask them, why are you creating this piece of work? And they will tell you what it means. So that symbolic meanings are embedded in the way of speech, in the way of writing, in the way of expression of the people. And,
wow.
we say government should help. Yeah, government has a lot more responsibilities. But what people mean is that they should give arts and crafts people the space
Mm.
to display their art, to display their craft, to, because the creative economy is also big,
Mm.
and giving the space, most people will find in the creative market instead of asking. industries to spring up and so on, they can find jobs from their own creative works.
That's interesting. Creative placekeeping should be the central. That's what we call that, creative placekeeping. Wow. Man, Mr. Kojo, this is good. This is good stuff. I can keep you on here for the rest of the day. But we have so much to talk about, and but our time is winding down here on Coffee Conversations with Greg J. But I'm gonna just say a few things to the people, and I'd like you to just stay on after we sign off because I have a couple of questions for you real quick. But any last words you want to say to the folks?
Just to say to your viewers and listeners that it has been part of my to get us understand each other. I know it will take some time to break the bond of communicating in local, but it will be important for us, for me particularly, to see people in Africa not looking at you like an investor or like a tourist, but as a relation. Of course, I know people do it.
Yeah.
As kids, embracing each other and say, welcome home in the sense of it. So that passion is there. And so there's a lot of miseducation about each other. So I would tell your listeners and your viewers that kind of miseducation should be behind us. We should all be positive about wanting to know about each other and coming together, because not only will our self-confidence go up, our strength will also go up, and we will take our rightful place in the global world.
Yes, man, I agree with that 200%. I mean, man, that's really the work of life right now in our world, and I'm so happy to meet someone of like mind there. Over there in Ghana, and we'll see you at the July. Yeah, we're coming over there. I'm bringing some folks now. I'm bringing some good well, everybody's of substance, but people of substance, if you know what I mean. So yes, good. You can catch this broadcast on our Facebook pages, Coffee Conversations with Greg J, Columbus Song Coffee Company, just wherever on Facebook you can find me. You can find this particular conversation. We're also on YouTube, so like and subscribe on there. We're on LinkedIn. We're going to repurpose it, the audio, and come out with the audio podcast wherever you get your favorite podcasts. I'm saying iHeart, Spotify, Apple, Google. Just come on, just type it in there. Coffee Conversations with Greg J. And just keep your mind on Africa, man. Support arts and culture. Understand that we are definitely about building these bridges of music, arts, and culture. And we're just thankful to Brother Kojo for coming on with us and kicking some knowledge. Oh, my goodness. What a fascinating conversation. Yeah. So that's what's going on there. And remember, y'all, love one another. Love one another. Love one another. Peace and blessings.